Hello, Brande Davison here. I'm a sparkler design team member with SpiegelMom Scraps, and I'm here today to walk you through a process video I made using the Toes in the Sand sequin mix. And what I'm working on here is a couple of things. So the Toes in the Sand sequin mix, this very new company that I've just discovered called Rosie Studio, and this is their Stillwater collection, and I believe this is a company out of Poland, if I'm correct. I'll have to look that up and post that below, but just I've never seen it before, and it was in one of my local scrap shops. So yeah, just really nice and beachy and florally, and yeah, just made me happy. So, and the photos that I'm working on are a selfie of me and my best friend on one of our sunny, glorious days, actually walking literally on the beach in Portugal, walking the Camino Portugal. We did the coastal route as sort of part of our last 150, 200 kilometers there when we did the Camino in 2017. And then I've got a couple of just the beach shots that I printed as smaller photos as well. And I'm really excited in particular about this layout because one of our design team members, Brianna, she had created a layout that just absolutely caught my eye. She used the Vicky Boutin Wander, I think, collection. Maybe another one of the Vicky Boutins as well, but primarily that. And she just had this amazing sort of like, I don't know, like reverse mountainscape or something, like these big, well, you can see it there just on the side. I keep bringing it up on my phone, these just amazing angles and 3 or 4 more different colors. And I'm going to use pattern paper as the background pieces that she made to kind of create that same look. And so I've just gone through the paper pad that comes with this Rosie Studio Stillwater collection, and I've just picked out some papers that really match the sequins and also really bring out the pop of the blue in these beach photos. So I'm just using my rulers, you can see there, kind of guessing on the angle of things, and then just using my ruler X-Acto knife to create an ankle to create an angle, doing my best to keep that as straight as possible. I think I screw up on a couple, but once they're all layered, it's fine. And then using my big, Edward Scissorhands there, Eddie as I like to call him, to create the additional angle there at the top. And then I just start layering. So you can see it there starting to come together. This pink paper actually has like a stamped, like a white, not perfectly stamped sort of dictionary words on it. So I just absolutely love it. So you'll see I use mostly that because it's gorgeous. For one, really brings out the blue in the beach there, matches my bestie's headband, but also there is these amazing pinks in the Toes in the Sand collection. So it just all came together quite nicely. Definitely easier to create these angles when the paper doesn't have words on it. I didn't have to worry if they were going to be upside down or not, but so this made it a little bit easier, but all the same, it's kind of nerve-wracking cutting into a brand new piece of 12 by 12 just to create an angle, but I'm learning to spend out, not hoard. I'm playing on the Rediscover Your Stash with Sarah Scraps and Christina Sorange, especially this month in the spending freeze, has made me really just appreciate how much I do have in my own stash, and I should be using it. So this particular pattern paper doesn't show very clear. You'll see it better in the stills at the end of the video, but it's a very, very light sort of lavender, but the pattern on it I don't know if you can call it geometric just because it repeats. I don't think it is, but it sort of reminds me of like a tiles from Portugal and Spain that you saw, but it's actually in gold foil. So I didn't want too much of it, just because the die cuts and the photo are all kind of, I don't know, they didn't scream gold to me, and I wanted the shiniest thing on the page to be my sequins, of course. And so I just used a little bit, and you'll see here I just sort of create slivers of it to just give a little bit of, I don't know, somehow it gives some texture to it because it's got the gold and the tiny pattern on it. Yeah, so I really like it. So these are what I've got so far. I think I do audition another paper there, and I wanted to flip the angle on that one. And I could have made the base really wide and brought it down. I ended up making it skinny, probably skinnier than Brianna did, but I really like how it turned out. So again, this is a scrap lift, not a scrap copy. So a little poetic license, I think, is exactly what makes it your own. So And here I am just bringing in a couple more pieces. You can see I flipped, my Instagram has reset and now we're looking at a couple of other ones, but I'll bring that back in. Love this stripe. This is also from that same collection, the Stillwater collection, and I was just trying to see if I wanted to play on the stripe on the horizontal or on the vertical. And as you can see, I end up doing it on, I guess it would be the horizontal. And flipping it over, and then I can get the opposite colors at the top of the, I don't know what you want to call it, like an inverted pyramid or something. That seemed to work out. See, I'm trying to find my inspiration again. Sorry about that. I probably could have cut that out, but that's basically what my Instagram looks like. There it is. Good. And I think, I want to say I probably used a half sheet of, let me guess, 4 or 5 patterns. One, two, three, four, five, 4 patterns. And it, I think too, because 2 of the patterns really have like those stripes, which are quite different colors, it looks like, pretty big bang for your buck for the amount that I had to cut up. And it just, oh, I can't believe the dimension that gives. I can definitely see myself doing this design again. So here I am, my 4x6 photo is going to stay there. I really like where it is. And then I'm sort of just playing around with those other photos. Those are just pictures of the beach we were actually walking along. And you can see it's gorgeous for miles, white sandy beach, not another human in sight, which, is the perfect day at the beach. But when you're having to hike, 15 miles or over 20 kilometers in it, oh my gosh, as gorgeous as it was, it quickly became a slog. And really it became just a debate that are my shoes full enough of sand now to stop and dump them out, or should I keep going because they're going to be fuller soon? So, but it was very, very fun. It was gorgeous all the same, made for good pictures, and it's always a good day when you're out walking with your best friend. So, and the ice cold radlers at the pub afterwards tasted particularly good as a result. So that's me. I've glued it all down. I did just kind of hold the middle in place and slip my glue underneath, as you can see here. I didn't think I'd find that pattern again, and it never seems to work when I try and remove it and put it back onto glue. And then I did just with my fingernail worry just the top just a little bit, so you can see it kind of has a slight lift, and I just sort of bent it, rubbed it with my fingernail along the top just to give a bit of texture. And then cut off the bottom there and made sure the glue. So the glue I'm using is a Scotch Quick Dry, and it's just in a fine line bottle. I find the skinny little dispenser on it makes it really easy to just slide it underneath the photos or the embellishments or the die cuts that you have on a page without having to lift them. And that is perfect to me because as soon as I lift them, I find they don't get back where they were, and it just never seems to look the same. So there I'm debating, do I use 3 or 4 photos, these little guys. I had 1 portrait and 3 horizontal, and I've decided to just go with 2 of the horizontal to sort of represent the cluster that Brianna had in her page, and then the other photos I'll find there'll be more layouts, so I'll find a way to bring those in. So that's I'm gonna back my photo here with white. I do print my photos on a Canon selfie at home, so they naturally have a bit of a white border, which sometimes is good enough, but I find with a pattern this, I don't know if it's really busy, but maybe it is. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the background. I do tend to also mat it with white cardstock. So it gives it a little bit of a broader mat, but also gives it just a little bit of more lift off the page, and I like that look. So then I'm also going to mat these little side photos. That one is looking out over the beach from the boardwalk we got to walk on for quite some time. The boardwalk must have been kilometers long. And then that bottom one is just straight up gorgeous sand and the sky. And we also had to walk on that for a very long time. So yes, I don't think I was sunburnt that day. I think I was windburnt from the sand. But couldn't have asked for a better day, not a cloud in the sky. I was melting, but my best friend was loving it, so. Okay, so that's me. That's where they're going to mostly stay. And now here comes the fun part. I get to go through the die cuts. And it's funny, I tend to buy 2 die cut packs with each collection that I buy because I always find I want like 2 of a few of them. And this, the Rosie Studio collection, their die cut shapes come with double of everything. So I did buy 2, so now I have quadruple of everything. So I was just, in the mode of like, what can I use? And I wasn't worried about, running out of anything, which was kind of nice. So at first I was going to go with best day. You know, walking on the beach, this is exactly what we were looking for when we booked this trip. So it was just like, oh my gosh, we're here. This is what we planned. So that was really great. And then as I bring in more here, you're going to see as I, audition a few things, I will bring in a bit more gold, building on the gold flecks that are in that pattern paper. And then, while I said I wanted the sequins to be the shiniest thing on the page, I almost feel like as soon as you put sequins on, you have permission to add a whole bunch of other shiny stuff on. So sequins are not afraid to share the limelight. So I do like this look right here, the circles, and for some reason I pulled them off and they don't end up staying. So I didn't think I wanted this to be floral. I thought I was thinking more like a beach and make it fun, and then maybe I could do a bit of a cascade of circles, but I do end up going back into the die cuts and going florals. The other goodies that come with this collection is these wood buttons, enamel buttons. So they have a little enamel piece inside of each of the buttons. And I hate buttons. I'm going to be totally honest. I have never liked them on a layout. They don't bring me joy. I do not know. I love how other people use them, but for some reason it just does not work for me. So a trick I've found is just to use my little tiny poker guy. I think that's a Tim Holtz Ranger, and it's just like a very skinny little poker. And I just simply push it underneath it and it pops those enamel pieces off the button. So they're just stuck on there. And then it looks like you end up getting these, fully designed enamel dots. This one's being particularly pesky with me, which is why it's still on the camera. And they're a little bit adhesive from when they were on the button, but you just, treat them like you would an enamel dot. And I just love them that way. And it may kill you to know, but I actually just took that sheet of buttons and just put them right in the bin. Oh, I should probably save them. Somebody probably loves buttons. It's cringing right now, but anyway, spend out, right? So that's me. I do keep the little flamingo guy on there. I just love him so much. He's blue, he's perfect, and he's got a little floral in his hair. And then you'll see here, this is when I start to play with the florals and kind of decide that maybe these tickets and maybe those circles aren't what I'm looking for. I'm always one, that a cascade of circles can work. And so I thought for sure I could make these work, but I do end up using those little enamel dots, but not a whole heck of a lot. I do, in fact, use them as enamel dots sort of mixed in with the sequin. So I like it. So I was going to cut this part out. But, I think it's kind of good to see that all of us are like, what do I do with these? And what's my design going to be? And sort of change our mind a little bit. So I did leave this piece in. So just looking at that now, though, for sure, I don't mind the circles. So isn't that always how it happens? So here I am. I know my photo is going to go there. So when in doubt and I start just moving things around, I start securing the things I know absolutely are going to go where they are. And then I can worry about moving all the little bits and bobs later. But I feel if I've got a couple of things down, I don't know, it feels like I'm getting there and I don't feel so frustrated that the process is either taking too long or my design isn't making sense. So I'm definitely enjoying that part right there. I'll throw my little day on. I definitely like the nested title. I think it looks really good. You can see there I'm just playing with the day. And I was trying to decide if I tuck the flamingo behind or in front, or if I hide his legs or not. And I think the legs end up sitting behind the T in best. And you'll see that in the stills here at the end. Turn on my phone so you can't see all my text, but you could see that I was listening to the Scrap Gals podcast. So I'll glue these guys down. Again, my technique of just sort of lifting a piece of the photo or a piece of the die cut, so I don't have to start moving things around again. Get my little fingers underneath there. And the top of the fine line bottle is about an inch, so you can, I would say maybe just under an inch. So you can really slide it under things so that you can get glue there and not have to worry about picking everything up. So here I'm off. I just went off camera there to grab, something as usual. And I've just made a little bit of adhesive there because I know I want the day to stay there and I don't want to forget, but I want to pop up the best. So I've just grabbed foam. I have, I think it's 30 feet of Studio Katsia or Katia or however you're meant to say it. It's just this huge roll. And so I just went and grabbed that from my bin. not the garbage bin, but the bin where I keep adhesive stuff. And I really like how that is sort of popped up. And I find when I'm covering my photo, even a portion of it with something, I feel better about covering a portion of it if what I'm covering it with is popped up for some reason. I don't know, it feels like it's then, even though it's adhered to the photo, it feels like it's sort of in front of it versus on top of it. So you can see me kind of debating what I want to do here. And so I'm going to keep playing a little bit. We're going to see. And then I am going to pull in some pieces. And this collection came with both alphas, which were gorgeous, came with the die cuts, came with the buttons, and came with some chipboard stickers. So I'm back to the die cuts. I'm just going to audition a few things. And I do keep picking up the florals, for a reason. I mean, it's, the perfect color kit to really, be able to hit home with the floral pieces there. So I played a little bit off camera there, and I ended up with that one floral in the corner. And then I think this might even be the next day, to be honest with you. I had to walk away. So, fresh eyes, fresh ideas. So I've come back, and this gold together just continued to catch my eye in my die cuts little bin there. And so I went with it. And then sort of by putting the gold on there, it gave me permission to also go through the florals that had, they have gold, I guess, highlights on them, like the center of the flower, and there's some stripes or some outline on the petals that is gold. So best day together, that is still absolutely true. And these little phrase stickers are fantastic, but they're very family or romantic, like, I love you more, I love your hugs, that kind of thing. So I had to sort of stay away from the phrase words there, and I end up sticking with florals. So I'm just doing a little bit of grouping on any of the florals that, kind of make me happy. I shied away from the blue ones and really stuck with the peaches pinks. And I guess that's like a fuchsia or dark pink color that matches the paper, but also the sequin mix, which includes that teal blue. It includes a peach color, a pink color, and a bit of a gold with a few dark sequins. Yeah, so this was just, worked out really well. The phrase that I'm playing with there is I think it says the best times are with you or something, and I thought that would be really good, but I couldn't find a home for it, and it would have been the only dark navy piece. So I think I ended up walking away from that. But I really liked these blue stems. The collection includes florals, some florals without botanical, some with botanical, and then a few of these extra botanical pieces, and I really like that. And then a trick, that works really well if you ever get die cuts that have maybe too much white outline that you don't like you're not going for that much, just fussy cut around them. And that's what I did with that orange one. It almost looked like it was a little bit offset on the die cut it was cut on, so it was too white around a couple of the petals, so I just fussy cut and you wouldn't know the difference. So never met a floral that's, you couldn't use it somewhere, some way. So I'm going to play with these little eyes, and that's what I do again here. It just a little bit too much white showing compared to the other die cuts, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it has to be even. So fussy cut that a little. And again, I can't believe how many die cuts come with this collection. So it was really fun to be able to just pick through that and know that, I could sort of use as many as I wanted on this and not worry about it because there was so many more to be used. So I did end up putting those two little tickets back on just above the two photos. So it kind of looks like a little bit of a cascade, which I like. And then I'm going to glue these guys down. I'm debating that peach one beside my head. I feel like it sort of looks like it's coming out of my head. So I do end up pulling that one off, but I shortly pull out the sticker set here and replace it with something a little bit more appropriate. And my little technique of just picking up the edges to glue things down. Still fighting with that peach one. So that's looking pretty good to me. I'm happy. It's exciting. I'm going to go in with these little enamel dots that I pulled off the buttons and try and give them a go. We'll see where they end up here. I think that is what I end up with, is just those two up there. The one in my hand is actually the coolest little pink art, but on like a wood background, and it just did not go with what I was going for here, so I got rid of it. I do glue down those enamel dots, and then I went through the Toes in the Sand sequin mix. That's just a little sort of sequin guy I have there that you can funnel out into shaker pockets. And I picked through the pieces for some of the pink ones and some of the teal ones. And, you know, with sequins, less can be more and more can be less. Like, you get to pick what makes you happy as far as how many you use. I could have gone crazy on this and made it look like, you know, absolute sequin confetti. I could have made one of those or two of those, the upright design pieces, into shaker pockets. Or, you know, when in doubt, you want to add a little bit of sparkle, but, you know, maybe not confident, or you're worried about sequins being kind of too much or too shiny or something on your design. Treat them like enamel dots. And that's really, that's what I'm doing here. So that's what where I would have put enamel dots. The difference is I get fantastic colors and just such good texture. The other thing I really liked in this Toes in the Sand sequin mix is they have butterflies, and you can sort of see them on the side there, and you probably saw them in the photo at the beginning, and they're just absolutely fabulous. So I keep thinking about what I'm going to use that with. So that's mostly my design. I thought it would benefit from a little bit of white acrylic paint splatters. You know, I tend to do this when I've got a soft colored layout, and then Brianna also did that on hers, but she did hers with black. So I thought, ooh, that looks really good across, even though there's already so much going on. I don't know, it just sort of, I don't know, draws the eye or softens it or something. So that's what I've done here. So that's just plain old white acrylic paint. I think it was like $1.97 at Walmart. I added a spray or two of water, and then I just go to town with about a medium-sized brush. I flick really close to the paper and the end of the paintbrush when I want small flicks, and then you can see I actually sort of scoop with the paintbrush to get some of those bigger pieces. And that's me. That dries, and here I am. So there's some stills for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, this is the Toes in the Sand sequin mix, still available in the shop, and use Brande 15 when you check out to receive 15% off. Thanks so much for watching.